at least learn how to mix tracks. That way you can build a relationship with artists, just upcoming artists. You can produce for them and mix their tracks. Or you can just do it to make money. You can sell your services to mix and master and with beats. For me producing, I advise producers to find more than one avenue for money and more than one avenue for a come up.
Yeah, I think you got to do that just in general for anybody. You know, the way that people get rich and build a lot of wealth is they have multiple streams of income coming in. If you rely on only one stream, you're not really going to be making all that much money. I mean, you can, but it's just good to have multiple streams because if one goes away or if one gets phased out, then you're not absolutely fucked.
Oh yeah, you right, but it's not pretty. Like it's all about selling a dream. That's just any industry, music industry, clothes, anything. It's all to make it seem like you getting it just like that. Like most of these people that we see successful, especially in music, like Metro Boomin and Zaytoven, all these people, trust me, they is not where they at just off of making beats. They are mixing, they are engineering, they have businesses on the side, they investing in stocks, like but the dream with the labels and all the they, as DJ Khaled say, what they want you to think is that they came off of just music or just that one lane so that you can be stuck in that lane. They don't need too many people knowing what to do. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's about having a limited amount of people at the top and having everybody else try to do what they tell them to do. That's a whole other conversation, like as far as what we was just about to get into.
But trust me, like it's very important because you're right. That's what this whole game is built on. Everyone is getting sold a dream that they're going to be, and everyone's getting sold a dream that they're going to come up overnight.
Man, I just feel like everybody that's grown at this point, you need to go ahead and get that out of your head. Like you still in middle school, high school. I know it's a lot of young people doing music. You can you ain't got nothing to lose. You still in school. You got something to fall back on. But if you grown like me, this whole overnight thing, that's just a dream. All these people that y'all see blow up off of quote unquote one song, it wasn't just one song. They had a whole management team. They had somebody investing money in them. It's been a lot going into that quote unquote one song when really it was a whole lot. But you're gonna learn the hard way like me as far as trying to blow up overnight. I've been doing this for years and I still ain't where I wanna be, but it's better than, posting something thinking you're gonna wake up with a million plays the next day. Or, getting that one shout out and just, getting that one shout out and thinking you're gonna wake up in the morning with a million followers. Like it don't work like that. It's a real slow grind. Some people is faster than others, but if you thinking about getting on like in a year, I'm gonna just start making music in a year and get on. I don't want to burst some people bubble, but it ain't gonna happen like that. Not unless you just have every connection in the world, and even then, the people gotta like your music.
I mean, even if you have the connections, if you have everything put, there's some people that they've got everything in place. They've got the right people. They've got all the money behind them in the world. They've got everything going for them. They're just not fucking good enough.
Yeah,
That's what it is. Like to make it to be big, you have to actually have. Okay, to make it big and to have longevity, you have to actually be fucking talented.
well,
To have longevity, not to make it big, to have longevity. I'm talking your career lasts longer than like 2 years.
I mean, I think talent and being good is subjective. It has to be subjective because there are some people that I think could have more talent that have been in the game for a minute. So I feel like talent. Well, I feel like it used to be talent that gets you in the game and business that keep you in the game, but now you can have a gimmick that gets you in the game. But I don't think talent keeps you in the game. Based off of my personal taste in music, it looks like the people that's been in the game longer than 2, 3 years, they got their business right, in my opinion. And they built up such a fan base that there's no quote unquote falling off because your core fan base is so big. How can you fall off when you still selling 50,000 albums every time you drop an album? That may not be the 250,000 you used to sell, but if you independent selling 50,000 albums every time and $10 an album, that's 500K.
I mean, Let's not pretend that people are actually making that off of album sales, though, because that just isn't the case.
Well, I mean, because nobody's independent.
Yeah, it's true. But like even then, the places where people are making the most money, and it's been like this for a long time, is the shows, really.
Yeah, if you independent, because most of these people that are on right now, they have 360 deals, and the labels touching all of that. They touching your merchandise, they touching your show money.
See, I don't get that because the way that a 360 deal used to be, it used to be not like that. I remember I did a paper on this in high school, so I actually did a lot of research on what a 360 deal was. And originally, what it was, they basically, the record label basically gave you a loan. And what it was is it was a loan to make your album. That's what an advance check is. And what it is once the album come out, every sale from that album has to be recouped by the label, and then you start getting paid. But originally what it was is it was just a contract for the album, and then all your shows and merchandise and everything else wasn't touched by that. But now, people aren't really buying CDs like that. People aren't really going and buying music like that. So now it's like, well, shit, we need to dip into this show money. Shit, we need to dip into this, dip into that, because the label's losing leverage. They've had no leverage, honestly, except for the money thing, for probably like 5 years now, and they're gonna lose more and more leverage as the years go on.
Well, the only thing they still have is perception, and that's from like a general fan of music. To perception is if you're signed by a label, then you're on. So artists knowing that fans would think that, they would still sign, even though knowing that they can do everything that a label can do. Just that perception of people being like, oh, he signed, he's on. That's the leverage that the labels still have.
The only thing that the labels do have that an independent artist actually cannot do themselves is to get on national radio, national syndicated radio. The record labels have contracts with the companies that own all the radio stations, and what it is basically you legally cannot play anything that isn't endorsed by us. The best example of this was when Macklemore's that Thrift Shop song was first getting hot. That was an independently released single, and it was like number one on iTunes, but the radios wouldn't touch it, and they found out that we can't play this unless this label signs you, because we have a contract that we can only play music that they bring us. That's the only leverage that they have still.
Hey man, everybody, I know a lot about the politics, but you just taught me some. I didn't know that they were having like exclusive or semi-exclusive agreements like that. I knew that you had to be signed to a label for the most part to have the connections to get on radio.
Very big corporations run a lot of these radio stations, and they only push certain music that these labels basically give them incentives. You're not supposed to be able to pay money to get your song played on the radio anymore, but they kind of just give them incentives in other ways. And it's basically like, hey, we'll like subsidize this, or we'll do this and that, but you have to only play shit from us. That's why you see a lot of these radio stations, when something's hot, they play the same playlist because it's the same label representing it. That's all the shit that they're trying to put.
Man, that's too much for me. That's why I don't even, personally as an artist, I don't even care about the radio anymore. At this point, I'm more focused on building my fan base. I think that's what everybody should be focused on.
I don't think anybody cares about the radio like that anymore, if we're being real here.
Man, everybody got an aux cord and Bluetooth. Like, you gonna load it up straight to SoundCloud or Spotify, or it. I don't know why the labels think we still care about radio like that. If they were smart, somebody would do a deal with SoundCloud, and especially SoundCloud, but the other streaming services, and make that into like a radio type of, how they have playlists on Spotify, but like have that as a station that you can play in the car. Like, I don't know. That's just the ideas I be having.
They're already moving towards doing that. I was listening to some podcast, and they were telling me about how in the new Cadillacs, like, they got like whole apps in the car. You pull it up, and they got this like navigation system and all this shit, and you can literally go on Spotify, and it's in your car. You don't have to go on your phone or any of that, and you're going to be able to pull up Spotify in your car. As soon as that happens, radio's done.
Man, see, somebody know what the future of music is. Somebody over there using their head.
And the funny thing is, the people that are doing that aren't even the people in music. They're the fucking people in tech and technology
Yeah,
doing
I
all that.
mean, at the end of the day, it's all about money. So they see that that's where the money is going to come from. It's going to come from streaming services and not radio anymore. And I could imagine all of the like the corporations are going to start paying for advertisement with the streaming services instead of putting their ads on radio now.
And they already have. I mean, like, don't you notice, like, in the past, like, 6 months or so, all the ads on SoundCloud and all the ads and shit like that on Spot? Like,
Yeah,
Spotify's a bit different because you pretty much have to pay monthly for it. Otherwise, it kind of sucks. But I remember on SoundCloud, when I still had the free account. Well, hold up. I think even if you have SoundCloud Pro, you still get ads.
yeah, you still get ads. They don't even really want you to get the paid membership though. I read that they make more money when you use a free account. Like that's just any streaming services. They make more money from putting the ads in your face than you paying that little $5, $10 a month. They'll make more money from you by putting those ads in front of you.
Really?
Yeah, so they really would prefer you have the free account. They would rather not have most of their users be paid users, should I say.
That's weird. Like, it makes sense, but
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Like, if anything, they should charge more for the. I mean, I don't think they should, but if they want more money, they should charge more for the paid services. That way, they can make more than what the advertisers are paying them to keep people using the free account.
yeah, there's so much that you could really go into about that.
Yeah, yes, man. A lot of people they gonna get in the industry and they gonna get their feelings hurt for a little bit. They gonna get their feelings hurt. I know I did when I found out everything is not. It's cliche to say, but it's not. It's not what it seems when you just on the outside looking in. When you get like your little foot in the door and you see what's actually going on, you gonna be like, man, what? Like it's a whole lot of weird stuff. People don't be as big as you think they are. People don't be selling out as many shows or bringing that many people out as you think. A lot of the followers be, you know, it's a lot, man.